So what's
Mhm.
what's your whole take on it? Because I noticed that Taboo One doesn't release CDs anymore.
No, I started as a CD only label, and back then it was the medium of choice, you know, and and what I did was give the vinyl rights to other people, like Uroy. I think I did with Patat Records, or Wall Boomers in Holland. I can't remember exactly who I gave it to.
Yeah.
Satadub, I gave Patat Records, because vinyl in the late 90s, early thousands was really, really, really a small market. And I needed, I couldn't afford um, to do both supports. Even though I like vinyl, I mean, um, um, then starting 2014, or well, 2013 we did some vinyl with Pity, and I did an album called Dub Rising, which is a dub album that Groucho Smichael mixed. Um, and I wanted to do a vinyl because I don't know, it sounded better on vinyl. Uh, it, Not better, but to me it was a vinyl album, not a CD album, for some reason.
Hmm.
And CD, the use of CD to me now is redundant with downloads. You go to HD tracks in America, or Cobas in Europe, and you can download lossless files. So what's the use? And with sometimes a higher definition, or Bandcamp. So what's the use of having a CD if you can download? You can burn your own CD and so forth if you want. I would rather focus what little money I have on a vinyl, that because we're fortunate in Europe to have some good vinyl companies, especially one in Germany called Optimal, whom I've used as often as I could. Um, and and the advantage of vinyl is that the cover is 1 foot by 1 foot, 12 inch
Hmm.
by 12 inch. So you can, with all that real estate, you can create something that's nice. I mean, compare this with the vinyl equivalent. I mean, it's day and night. Well, downloads have gone down since Spotify came into the equation and started streaming.
Yeah. I don't like
Because
Spotify.
no, me neither. But you have to credit them with starting a revolution in the distribution of music. I mean, 20 years ago, you had Apple that started iTunes, and that made downloads legal. So all of a sudden, instead of going on a peer-to-peer and basically cheating the artist out of some royalties, you could buy legitimate files. So that's revolution number one. And then 10 years after that, Spotify came and changed the whole game by introducing streaming. Them, Tidal, um, and so forth. And then Apple got bought Beats to join that the streaming revolution. So now most of the digital sales are streaming,
Right.
and downloads is non-existent, except a few specialized websites that specialize in high resolution files. And to me, high resolution files are the ideal medium because they come from the master, and there is no sound quality loss when you do a vinyl. You have to do a mother and then press and so forth. And there is some. I mean, and if you want to make the groove cut the groove correctly, you need to tone down the bass and you need to tone down the trebles. Otherwise, the lathe doesn't cut the groove correctly.
Yeah.
You know,
That's why the
yeah,
masters are different.
totally,
Yeah.
totally. So if you really want the original sound after it's been mixed and mastered, you go for the digital, high resolution digital files.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, having said that, people love vinyl, and and but vinyl now is being crowded by Taylor Swift. I mean, she just released an album that sold 1 million vinyl copies, but the industry capacity is very small. You know, because the machines are very old and there are no new pressing machines. You know, so all the companies have a finite inventory of machines to press records. So
Yeah.
when Adele or Taylor Swift or um, the Beatles are being repressed, it crowds you out. The small guy doesn't had a spot for say September 2023 to press 1,000 records. You think the pressing plant is going to bother about this guy when they have an order from Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
So we get screwed out. That's why uh, in the future I'm not sure I want to do vinyl anymore myself. I'm teaming up. I'm doing a Black Uhuru compilation these days called Taxi Tracks. It's a double LP, and oh shit, you have it. This was done with in collaboration with a company called Diggers Factory, and they're specialized in pressing vinyl.
Right.
So they have because they pool a lot of small labels like me. They have more heft, more weight with the pressing plants, and I don't get kicked out of the, you know.
Yeah.
So we were able to have like a 5 months waiting time for this pressing to take place, whereas me it was a year.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
so in the future I probably will give those guys my content for vinyl. And the reason I'm doing NFTs, music NFTs, is that if you buy an NFT, and what is an NFT? It's a title of ownership. It's nothing else. It says Zeb owns the right to download a song or to do whatever, and that right is um is uh, is registered in the blockchain. So it is immutable and cannot be changed and is verifiable by everyone. So everybody will know that Zeb owns an NFT that gives him such and such rights
Right.
because the smart contract is spelled out. And what you can do, which you cannot do with streaming, is couple a physical twin to the digital asset. So people will be able, when they buy my NFTs, they will be able to have their own copy on vinyl of the song, the Walk Away from Love NFT. We're gonna have 60 copies cut on vinyl.
Wow.
So each, yeah. So it's a different scale. Um, but in the future, if things work well, we can press maybe 1,000, and those 1,000 will be individually numbered and they will have their own individual artwork from bits and pieces we will have selected first, to make something coherent. But that an artificial intelligence, an algorithm that you program, will be able to design a different copy of the artwork for you. So Zeb will have the Zeb copy, and Guillaume will have the Guillaume copy. And if I don't like my copy, I can try and trade my copy with yours. We can do so many things that is not possible at the moment.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of the blockchain technology. Everybody is right now is saying crypto is for crap, and it's a swindle, and it's a Ponzi scheme. Yes, it is. But the blockchain technology that's underlying crypto and is wonderful. You can do stuff that's never been done before. And once again, I was the first reggae label to go digital on Apple in 2003. When they launched, I was the first reggae label ever. Not VP, not Island, me, Taboo. And so I want to try always new things. Always want to explore new technology. And I have hired a team of people. We're, putting sweat equity into the program. But if it works, then I can offer that possibility to other reggae labels or other music labels. There are a few music NFT websites at the moment, platforms, but none of them is doing coupling the digital with the physical. And we have other tricks up our sleeve that we're going to introduce, and it's gonna, what we found out when we did some research is how good the gaming industry is at offering product to their customers and building loyalty and so forth. And in the music industry, I think we're totally stultified. We still use the ways and methods of the 70s and 80s when we're 40 years forward in the present, and there are so many things that other industries are doing that the music industry is not doing, because the music industry is dominated by big conglomerates, and they're lazy and complacent. Have you what innovation can you tell me came from Universal in the last 30 years?
Yeah.
Zero. None. The only thing they do is milk their catalog, and they're not doing it well. Look at the represses of Bob Marley that they've done. It's a shitty job. Sorry.
No, you're 100% right on that. It's their represses are atrocious.
Yeah, and the lack of respect for reggae music is unnerving, to say the least. I'm not saying anybody could have done it, what I've done, because it takes a little chutzpah and luck, a ton of luck. If I hadn't met with Ket Koor as I was going out of this barbecue joint after the gig and hit, boom, into him, maybe I wouldn't be here talking to you. Or if I hadn't seen that thing on the bulletin board about Sly and Robbie's taxi website and just dismiss it,
Yeah.
etc., etc. I am eternally grateful for all the luck, that I've been blessed with. I'm a terribly lucky guy. I am so grateful that they gave me a chance, and that's part of the Jamaican spirit. They're open people, they're hardworking people. They have a bad reputation in Europe and in America because of the drugs, because of the gangs, because of the guns and shit. But they're good people, and when you see what they have to deal with in their daily existence, you know how much electricity costs in Jamaica?
No.
5 times the price in Europe, and probably 10 times the price in America, because they have two um, power plants, and they're powered by oil.
Okay.
So when the price of oil is at $25, they're okay. But now it's $100. So electricity has to go up, and for some reason it never goes down. But the price of a pound of rice is more than a gram of cocaine. See, the price of food is outrageous, you know, and people make $100, $300 a month when they make money. You know, the
Right.
unemployment rate amongst the youth is like 50%. They have no other way than join a gang or take a plane to America. You know, and a few of them can run fast, so they become top athletes. But look, compare the money that they have to develop their athletes and the money that any college in America has to develop their athletes. It's 10 to 1,
Yeah.
you know. So they have grit, they have determination, they have talent, they, you know, and we in the West don't give them enough chances. You know, when they had a hurricane in 1986, Gilbert.
Gilbert, yeah.
Yeah, most of their local pigs were decimated by the destruction. So the Americans gave them pigs from America, you know, to replenish their stables.
Hmm.
But pigs from America are raised in a climate that is not the climate of Jamaica. And the food they get is different from the food that Jamaican farmers can pay. So American pigs died over and over again. And instead of helping them redevelop Jamaican pigs, they kept shipping pigs that were raised in America, and ultimately destroyed the pig industry in Jamaica.
Hmm.
So now Jamaica has to import their pork, you know? Same with the fish. The fish fished by Chinese fishing boats in Labrador and, you know, North America, in the Groenland and all of these areas, is cheaper than the fish that is being fished locally.
Uh-huh.
So the fishing industry is destroyed by Chinese and Canadian fishing industries. So by and those are subsidized by the government in Canada, or the pigs are subsidized by Exim Bank in America. So they can't compete because the price is kept artificially low because of government subsidies in America, Canada, Europe, you name it. So the local agricultural and fishing industry is destroyed. So Jamaica is even more and more dependent on importing from the rest of the world. And because they have to import, they need currency. And because they don't have anything to sell in return, their currency goes down and it deepens their crisis. So the third world, and Jamaica is a perfect example to study how the third world is being screwed over by the West. And farmers in the West are heavily subsidized, whereas Jamaican government can't subsidize, and they wouldn't subsidize, they would steal the money anyway. So, you know, the people are really in a dire situation. You know, if labels in the West can pay a little royalty to artists in Jamaica, it feeds a lot of people. So we have a responsibility to pay at least what we should pay, you know, and encourage local talent. So there is some money flowing into the communities and so forth. You know, and
Right.
and that is something that I have tried to do, not only through record sales, which are small for Taboo, but I also work with lawyers in the West to sue copyright societies or major companies to make them pay their royalties at the fair rate. Like, for example, streaming revenues that Universal is making should be paid at the 50% rate to the Jamaican artist. Right now, they're being paid at 5%, 10%. So, and and streaming revenues were never factored in the original contracts. So the majors are screwing the Jamaicans and all the other artists, but I care about the Jamaicans. Or the copyright societies are not paying their publishing rights the right way to Jamaican artists. So I am part of a team, and we already successfully sued some French copyright societies and made $5 million for the Jamaicans. That's something that I'm very proud of and very keen on continuing to do. And we want to sue all the major companies now, and we're going to. So that's something that I'm really interested in. Um, Other things, I mean, setting up a digital rights society in Jamaica to collect directly from Spotify and so forth some streaming royalties, and that's why my little NFT project um, is part of that movement. Trying to get a more fair industry going. You know, and while at the same time making money for myself too. But all these conglomerates, um, with tons of people who serve nothing but their own self-interest. I'm not interested in dealing with that. I want, you know, and now is the age where the digital revolution enables individuals to benefit directly instead of going through a maze of intermediaries that all take the 10%, 15%, 20%, and you're left with 5 cents on the dollar.
Yeah.
And fans need to be in direct contact with their artist, and artists can have direct links with their fans. And social media has started going in the right direction. I mean, it's a move in the right direction, but I believe that the money, because money is really important for Jamaicans and for artists anyway. You need to live with your art,
Yeah.
and you don't have to be a janitor in a high school to feed your family if you're a singer, you know. And so, with the blockchain and so forth, there are potential ways. I'm not sure it's possible, but I sense that there are possibilities, and I want to explore that.